In this session, we focus on social and emotional development during adolescence. Adolescence generally refers to the stage of life between 10 to 19 years. The beginning of adolescence is characterized by the physiological changes related to puberty. Puberty is driven by a dramatic increase in the secretion of sex steroids and growth hormones. The physical changes include a rapid increase in height, the addition of muscle mass, increased perspiration, and the development of secondary sexual characteristics. This development affects how people interact with us and their expectations of us. The hormonal changes that occur during puberty influence and are influenced by rapid changes in the development of the brain. After early childhood, adolescence is the time of the most rapid brain development for humans. The brain is the last human organ to fully develop and mature, with brain development continuing until the early to mid-20s. Two important brain development phenomena happen during adolescence. The first phenomenon is called pruning. The brain starts to organize itself to make itself more energy efficient. It strengthens the connections that are used and cuts away those that are not used. The other thing that happens is called myelination. Myelination is the increase in the fatty coating around the connections in the brain. This insulates the connections in the brain and increases the efficiency and the speed of the electrical connections. What does this mean for us as educators? Adolescence is an important time for learning and experiencing new things that will shape the rest of our lives. The adolescent brain is primed to learn new things and to strengthen connections. As educators, we will have multiple opportunities to help and support adolescents, to strengthen the connections that matter to them and find new passions and interests. The brain maturation is also related to social and emotional development of adolescents. If you search the internet, you will find several resources that describe what typical cognitive, physical, social, and emotional development looks like during adolescence. However, we need to ask the question, how typical is this development across contexts and countries? Most of the development that we have talked about so far makes it sound like adolescents are moving in a straight line upwards, growing, developing their skills. However, development tends to happen in spirals and is impacted by the environment around the adolescent. What is important is to use typical adolescent development as a reference point to situate your understanding, but not as a screening or diagnosis of different adolescents and their differing trajectories of development. What may be more helpful for you is to think about the social and emotional tasks that adolescents are working on and how you can support them. Generally, adolescents are working through 4 social and emotional developmental tasks. The first developmental task is to stand out, to develop an identity and pursue autonomy. As adolescents grow, they begin to form a more cohesive vision of who they are, who they want to become, and how their identity shapes the behaviors and perceptions of others. This identity formation process is often accompanied by an increased desire by adolescents to exert greater agency over their lives and the environments surrounding them. Adolescents want to better define who they are, and in doing this, they want more independence. The second developmental task is to fit in, to find comfortable affiliations and gain acceptance from peers. Adolescents start to look outside the home for new experiences and relationships. They want to build and explore new peer groups, and they increase the prioritization that they give to their friends and romantic interests over their parents and teachers. The third developmental task is to measure up, to develop a competence or specialization in things that are of interest. Since adolescence is a prime stage to learn and specialize, it is a great time for them to determine the things that they are interested in. the activities in which they excel, and the areas where they need to develop further specialization. This exploration of skills can be directed towards a specific goal that adolescents have for their future, like studying to become a veterinarian, or can serve their broader identity formation process. And the last developmental task is to take hold, to make commitments to particular goals, activities, and beliefs. Defining goals during adolescence becomes important because it shapes subsequent development. The goals themselves are determined by the norms and expectations of the culture and context where adolescents live. The process of pursuing these goals reflect individual interest, aspirations, competencies, actual and perceived options and opportunities, and the ability to plan strategically. As an educator, an important part of your role is helping adolescents navigate these 4 social and emotional developmental tasks. You may not be able to actively help each adolescent through the 4 developmental tasks, but as educators, we can help adolescents build the social and emotional skills to engage with these developmental tasks. In other words, instead of telling adolescents what skills to learn, we can help them apply skills in different settings and learn the mindsets of when and how to apply and use which skills. To do this, we need to bring adolescents more fully into the conversation about developing skills, making us facilitators of adolescents' learning and exploration rather than instructors.